Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. So happy New Year. Here we are, another year. New resolutions for what we're going to accomplish this year, new goals. And one of the things that people have asked me to talk about is how do you get your spouse on board when you're decluttering or organizing your home? And have you ever found yourself saying something like, it's so much easier to declutter and get organized when my spouse is not around? Or he doesn't really help, he just complains and he gets in my way. So I can't tell you how many times as a designer that I've heard these kind of things. And so I respond usually by saying, well, wouldn't it be great if you could find ways to, work on that big project together, not only to lighten the load and to get a lot more done, but in the end that you could both reap the benefits of a home that's now organized and decluttered, and one that's, more organized and definitely more peaceful. So, and in the process of decluttering and organizing together, wouldn't it be nice if you could learn more about each other, like why you hold on to certain things? Have you ever asked your spouse that? And without being antagonistic, but to truly wonder, like, why do they hold on to certain things? Or why is it hard for you to let go of one thing or another? And, even why you accumulated so much in the first place. So when you work together, this is one of those opportunities that you could start to understand the reasons why you each hold on to things that will ultimately then allow you to make more lasting changes and that you don't accumulate more. So I will tell you, though, that when I make those kind of comments, people definitely push back when I suggest that they find ways to work together on their decluttering, organizing, or downsizing, whatever it is, rather than trying to do it all alone. And hi, everyone. Anyway, rather than trying to do it all alone and then resenting it. So just think about it. And we've all done this. So that's why it's one of those conversations that people say, well, Rita, will you talk about that? So if this is one of your resolutions this year to declutter your home and to get organized, why not try to make it a shared goal so that you can both enjoy the process and the benefits? And having worked closely with many couples over many years in my design world, my downsizing world, I've been in their homes, and I've oftentimes been in the middle of some crossfire sometimes. And so I've developed a couple of different ways to have people get on board so that they can actually enjoy the process together. So what I want to share with you tonight is the 5 top tips on how to get your spouse on board or your partner on board when you're decluttering and organizing your home. So the first one is to have a conversation. Get a glass of wine, sit down, and I'm sitting in my library right now. It's just one of the most comfortable places in my home. But have a conversation about how clutter is impacting your home, your relationship, your family, your children. Clutter does impact all of those things. So talk about why it's important why it's important to you. Ask that partner why it's important to them. Feel the stress and the frustration and the overwhelm that clutter causes, and talk about that and find out, how difficult it is to just find things sometimes. So as a couple, as a family, when you get together and have this conversation, it's like a beginning step to get to being able to work together. So the second thing is to ask for help. Now, God knows, strong people, we don't ask for help. But anyway, what I've learned over the years, took me a long time to learn this, but let them know that you need help and you'd like to do it together as a couple or as a family. And sometimes all we have to do is ask. So when they know how much it bothers you and that it's definitely on your list this year to try to have a decluttered home, a more organized home, it's very likely that they'll say they want to help. And it may take time to develop how you work together on this, but at least it's a beginning. And the third step is to find common ground, to share your vision, ask them what their vision is, and have your partner share that vision for what would your life be like without clutter. So if you think about maybe your mudroom, your foyer, some of the areas, your kitchen counter, what would it be like when you don't have that clutter in your life? So then together develop a shared vision of what that simpler life could look like, and develop then a decluttering plan and also a timeline. So you together are creating this, and that helps to build the relationship to have a partner in this process. The fourth step is to respect each other's obstacles and barriers in that decluttering process, and try not to judge. Try not to complain. And I know that's not always easy, but inevitably there's going to be certain items that create triggers, and they'll be difficult for one of you to let go of something. So take that time, take the opportunity to ask why. Why are you sentimentally attached to that item, whatever it is? Why are you afraid to let go of it? Is it that you think you might need it later on? Or, do you regret the amount of money you spent on something because it was very expensive? You had to work hard for it. So those are some of the questions that come up, and opportunities actually for you to get to know a little bit more about why certain things are difficult. And other times, the process can be totally overwhelming. One of you might just feel like giving up, quitting. It's just too much. It's too hard. It's too whatever. And that's an opportunity for you to then, help the other one move forward and break through that barrier. So it's an opportunity to work as a team, to help each other, to grow together, and to understand a little bit more about what makes us tick. And the last thing is to lead by example. So this is not always easy to get this off the ground. So just to get it started, why don't you focus on just your stuff, your closets, your desk, your drawers, and let them start to see results. Because just because you have this conversation doesn't mean everybody's going to jump in and want to join you immediately. So when they start to see you doing it, start to see your results, it's very likely that they'll be inspired too. They know how important it is to you, and maybe they'll follow your lead. So ultimately, you'll find ways to work together on that whole decluttering process. So if you're motivated to finally declutter and get organized this year, and if you really wish that your spouse would help you out, try these 5 tips, and you'll have some of your own that you'll want to try. But at least it will get the conversation started. And wouldn't it be worth it anyway to find the common ground so that you can actually do this together? So I hope this helps. Wishing you all a very wonderful new year. And I will be talking to you every Tuesday and Thursday about downsizing, decluttering, and interior design. And truly, if you are interested in a certain topic, please reach out to me at Rita Wilkins at ritawilkins.com. And I will be glad to respond and create content accordingly. But we will be twice a year. This past year, I don't know if you got our email or not, but we created over 100 blogs, 100 videos. And this is important to me, that I can contribute to you in some way. Anyway, have a good night. Take care.